On.
Kenny, you and I were talking recently about this growing issue of strategic default, and you said something to me that I think is very important to share. You said there's so much you find that homeowners just don't know about the options that they have and the issues that they're going to encounter in pre-foreclosure.
And that's correct. And you know, I heard some stats early on that like 58% of foreclosures that the seller never consulted with the lender or a realtor, out of being embarrassed or just didn't know what to do or thought they didn't have any options. So one of our goals, as we started to see that consistently, was, is it our responsibility to get the word out and to help explain what options they do have? Because as we know now, there are, a lot of different options that homeowners have.
What do you do specifically to help homeowners understand and make a good choice?
Well, we've been farming an area for the last almost 10 years now, and so we have a pretty good track record in the community, and so it's allowed us through our marketing campaign, which is a monthly newsletter, to set up some free workshops that we put together, and we get the consumer to come out. And at first I wasn't sure if people would show up or not because they were embarrassed, and if we know half are walking away without, or more than half are walking away without even talking to people, but we went ahead and tried it. And because we're not qualified to consult legally or on tax advice, we partnered with some professionals in our communities. We have a real estate attorney and a real estate related CPA that come out to our workshops. They last for about an hour, and we've had as few as 2 or 3 people show up and as many as 30 people show up. And we just go through a quick PowerPoint and kind of the myths of short sale from the real estate side. One big thing is most people are already behind, or a lot are getting behind, and they're not sure how they're going to pay a commission. We realized early on that was a major concern, and so we explained to them the banks pay our fee. We typically sell the home as is, and then we kind of explained to them that we don't put short sale all over the house, and that we do have to disclose it in MLS, but that everything else from the outside, from the neighbor standpoint, looks the same. And then we go through that process. Then we have the attorney speak a little bit. Fortunately, in Arizona, we're one of 13 states that's anti-deficiency. So for a lot of people, that's a big plus. So we explain that, or he goes through and explains that. He explains bankruptcy a little bit, foreclosure, deed in lieu, kind of just a general education. And then the CPA talks about, kind of the phantom income, the 1099, how that works, what their options are. And then, amazing as it is, and I didn't know how it would work, is then the question and answers start, and people really do open up and start asking their questions, and that's been a big, big plus. Now, if they get too specific, again, the attorney or the CPA has to then say, we can do a private consultation. They charge a nominal fee for people that attend, and they will also review the short sale letter upon approval. So,
Kenny, what are their biggest concerns that come out in the Q&A? What are the top 2 or 3 things that you hear over and over again from homeowners in a market like yours with a lot of distressed property situations?
Well, the number one thing is, the deficiency, and will the bank go after them, and are they liable for that? And they unfortunately hear a lot of information from, neighbors or coworkers or people who don't have the knowledge. And so the number one thing is just the deficiency. Probably number 2 is, the tax side of it. Are they going to be taxed? A lot of them don't understand why that's there. And so we have to explain to them on the tax side of it. And then a lot of it's just the embarrassment of going through it. And a lot of people we're dealing with, never thought they'd be in this situation. And so it's become a real, embarrassing thing for them. And so to come out and try to get the answers. But the top 3 would be the deficiency, the tax side of it, and then just, how do they pay for it and that type of thing.
What do you tell them to expect in the short sale process if they go down the short sale road with you? What do you tell them to expect?
Well, we have a full-time short sale coordinator. We are CDP and SFR designated, so we've tried to really embrace the education and the systems. So I do let them know we feel like our process does move a little smoother, a little quicker. We collect the, what we need up front prior to listing, and we just let them know. It depends on how many banks. If we've got first, seconds, HELOCs, which banks they are, and we let them know. Once we get an offer. It could be 30, 60, 90 days or more. It's really kind of a moving target, but we've seen it progressively get better, and it's a little more hopeful out there for everybody.
How are people responding to these workshops that you're doing?
It's been great. We've been doing 2 a month now for about the last 5 or 6 months. We've got 2 more yet this month. We're starting to get referrals from them, meaning they're sending people to them, and then just the consistency of doing them. So they've been very positive. People have been very thankful. A lot of appointments with the attorney after the event, and then if it makes sense for them, then they come see us. And we tell them too, we're not there to, if it makes sense, if it's the right decision for the consumer. Sometimes, truthfully, foreclosure is the best option. If the bank, will want to seek a deficiency, then you don't have a choice but to let it foreclose. And we just want what's right for the consumer. But we know if we short sale, we sustain the values in our community. So we try to invite not just the distressed property people, but the general homeowner who is not underwater to come to our classes too, to get educated, so they can help, be a resource to their neighbors, to help them understand, hey, go talk to these guys or talk to someone and get educated before just walking away from your home.
Kenny, thanks very much for your time on this. You're doing great work, and I appreciate your time.
Roger, thanks for your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
We'll talk again.
Thank you.